So throughout this video, I'm going to talk about the 4 pillars of destruction for the human civilization. I'm also going to discuss God, religion, communism, socialism. So I want to start this video with the topic of secularism. Listen, when society becomes too secular, that society is going to end. For those of you out there who are saying that religion's not real, the God is not real, well, that is totally fine. Let's say you decide to take a road trip across the continental United States. So one night as you're driving in your car in a new city, your car breaks down, it's raining outside, and you're stranded in a really terrible situation. Then out of nowhere, 10 men begin to approach your car from the distance. They emerge from the shadows. Okay, let me ask you a simple question then. Would you rather have these 10 men that they're all wearing a sweater that says God is not real when your car is broken down? Or perhaps, would you rather have these 10 men that is approaching your car? Would you rather prefer that all 10 of these men are holding a Bible in their hand? Which option is it going to be? Yes, perhaps you don't believe in God. That is totally fine. All of you believe that men should have rights, right? In fact, not just men. Women should also be entitled to rights as well. So if you don't think God is real, then you also believe that God did not give men and women their rights. So, if God didn't give you your rights, who give it to you? It must be man then. Okay, this is where you have to be very careful. If man give you your rights, then that means that the same man that give you those rights, they can also take it away from you. Every single communist, socialist regime, the first thing they do when these regimes take power is that they will try to get rid of religion. That is actually the very first thing that's on their agenda. I'll give you a great example. Comrade Lenin and also Comrade Stalin. The first thing they did after taking power in the Soviet Union was that they got rid of religion. They burned down churches. They killed all of the Russian clergy. That is the very first thing a communist, socialist, and a totalitarian regime will do. They will ban religion in every single part of society. All religions in China during the Cultural Revolution were also banned. Churches and temples were burned down. All religious books and artifacts were burned down. Statues were burned down. Confucius was not allowed to be mentioned for 10 years during the Cultural Revolution. And remember, 100 million people died under communism and socialism. I'm talking about 100 million non-combatant deaths. These deaths all happened within the civilian population. I want you guys to really think about this point. If you do not believe in God, this does not mean that you do not believe in nothing. If you don't believe in God, this means that you will believe in anything. This is why we have all of this chaos in our society today. I'll give you some examples of the secular things that's happening in our society. Okay, a very obvious one. Man can menstruate. Man can get pregnant. Man can give birth to humans. Women have penises. Women can ejaculate. Gender is a social construct. So, if a man feels like he's a woman, it's 100% okay for a man to enter a boxing match and punch a woman in the face and crack her skull and knock her teeth out, and he can also win prize money and gold medal by doing so. It is okay if a man feels like a woman, he can just enter a woman's bathroom or a woman's shower and whip out his genitals and openly expose himself to minors and children. That is 100% okay because as long as he feels like he's a woman, then whatever anybody else says, none of that matters. I'll give you guys another great example. Lizzo. Lizzo is considered to be a top 1% supermodel. That is a dictionary definition example of a secular society. When everything becomes secular, the world ends. Do you guys not want to know something interesting? Do you guys know what is the carjacking capital of the United States? It's actually right in the capital. It's Washington, D.C. Do you guys want to know why Washington, D.C. is the carjacking capital of the United States? Because if you live in Washington, D.C., it is illegal to carry firearm inside of your car. Do you guys think thugs and drug dealers and gangsters and criminals, do you guys think they give a shit about that law? Obviously, they don't care. This is why there are so many carjackings, because the thugs and criminals, they know that the regular American citizens, they won't be carrying any concealed weapons in their car because it's against the law. So they can easily hijack your car when they point a gun at your head, because they know that you won't be able to fight them back. The exact same thing happened back in the Soviet Union. Every single communist, every single secular regime, the first thing they did after they took power was to disarm their own citizens. That way, if the government, if the state becomes a total tyranny, the citizens of that state, the citizens of that country, they have no way of fighting back the government. They have no way of fighting back the military. That's why in every single one of these secular societies, the first thing they did was to get rid of religion. Then right after that, they would disarm every single one of their citizens. Racial segregation. It's progress. It's great for our society. What do I mean by racial segregation? Columbia University. This is a Ivy League school, one of the best universities in the world. Columbia University has a black-only dormitory. And obviously, if you have a black-only dormitory, that means they also have black-only study spaces. They also have blacks-only water fountains. They have black-only cafeterias. They also have black-only washrooms. Back in the 1960s, people called that segregation, but in 2024, people of Columbia University, they want to call this progress. How is this progress? And if you say anything against it, you're the one that's racist. At least that is the official opinion of the political left, of the Democratic Party. That's what they want to push for. So if you want a racial equality so bad, should Columbia University also have a all-white only dormitory? Should that be allowed? You want to hear something more ridiculous? Look up University of Waterloo in Canada. So Waterloo is roughly an hour to hour 15 minutes south of Toronto, okay? University of Waterloo, one of the best universities in Canada. Now they have blacks only swimming hour. No, I'm really serious. For 1 hour every single day, okay, only black students are allowed to enter the swimming pool. The university's reasoning behind this is that it's because that most black people don't know how to swim, and this is all due to systemic oppression and discrimination from white people. So for 1 hour every day, all of the white, all of the Indians, all of the Asian students, and the Latino students, they must get the hell out of the pool to make their way for black people so they can properly learn how to swim. No, I'm 100% serious. This is what happens when you abandon your religion. This is all the byproducts of a secular society. So I'm sure all of you guys have had this issue in your life at some point, right? You have a woman that's in your life that's constantly complaining to you about how they're so unhappy, how they're so depressed, and nothing's going right in their life. They hate their job, and they hate their boyfriend, they hate their husband, everything about them, and they're constantly depressed all the time, and nothing you say will ever cheer them up. Do you know why women are always unhappy? The number one reason why women are always unhappy is due to the female sexual liberation and the female sexual promiscuity. Okay? No civilization throughout human history has ever permitted this. When I talk to my grandmother, when I talk to her sister, when I talk to almost every single Chinese granny, okay, in the previous generation, almost every single one of them was happy. Do you know why almost every one of them was happy? Well, number one, all of these Chinese grannies, they all died with a body count of 1. They were all virgins on their wedding day. You guys want to know why they were all virgins on their wedding day? Because every single one of them was religious. Because according to a Confucius ideology, according to Guanyin, according to the Buddha, according to the Shangdi, the number one sin in life a woman can commit, it's adultery. The number one objective morality in a woman's life, it's 从一而终. No matter what, she must always remain faithful to one man for the course of her entire life. That was the number one goal. That was the number one objective morality for women. And of course, also back in the day, all of the marriages in China were arranged by the father of the daughter. Only the father of the daughter can choose his future son-in-law. That's why throughout Chinese history, there was virtually no divorces. Now Chinese women have the freedom to choose any man they want. And look at what happened to our world. Over 50% of marriages end in divorce now. You don't think religion's important, right? I can guarantee you something. to every single Chinese woman out there that is still religious to the present day. I'm not talking about the fake ones, because there are so many fake ones out there nowadays. For example, many of these Western women were completely ran through. They spent their entire 20s partying and sleeping with Chads and Tyrones, and once they turn 30 and they start going to church, they say, I'm a born-again virgin. There's no such thing as a born-again virgin. Yes, you can convert to Christianity, but this does not erase the sense of your past. I'm talking about the ones who are truly religious. I'm talking about, those Chinese women who still burn the incense, who still have those mini statues of the Guanyin, of the Shangdi, of the Buddha in their bedrooms, and they're praying to gods every single day. I can guarantee you that every single one of those women will be a virgin on their wedding day. This is only if you're a true Christian or if you're a true Buddhist since day one. I'm not talking about the ones who converted in their 30s, because my stepmother, she's one of them. I think she converted at some point, maybe when she was, 34, 35, and she believed that she can somehow be a born-again virgin, that somehow she can be pure again. She thinks that she can simply just pray away the sins of her past. It doesn't work that way. You want to know something crazy about a woman's depression and unhappiness, right? It starts way before female sexual promiscuity. It all starts with secularism. Okay, here's an example from America. This is from a JAMA study in 2016. So JAMA stands for Journal of the American Medical Association. This was a study that was conducted over the course of 14 years, okay, which featured close to 90,000 women from all ethnic backgrounds that's living in America. Women living in America who attended religious services on a regular basis over the course of 14 years, okay? 90,000 women from all ethnic backgrounds. They're 5 times less likely to commit suicide. They're 5 times less likely to be diagnosed with clinical depression. These women who attended the religious services regularly are more likely to get married at a young age. They're more likely to be a virgin on their wedding day. They're less likely to file for divorce. They're more likely to have multiple children. They're less likely to abuse drugs or alcohol. They're less likely to become the victims of domestic violence. Over the course of 14 years, women of all ethnic backgrounds, okay? Do you guys want to know why, so these Chinese and Western women, the ones who are truly religious, of course, do you guys want to know why every single one of these women are virgins on their wedding day? It's because they believe in their God. They believe in Jesus, they believe in the Lord, they believe in Shangdi, they believe in Guanyin. And according to a Chinese Confucius ideology, the number one sin a woman can commit in her lifetime is to not be faithful to one man. And if these women were to commit adultery at any point in their lifetime, they will be sentenced to the lowest circles of hell, where they will be condemned for all of eternity, where they will be tortured until the end of time. Yes, back in the day, in fact, I would say up until the 1960s and the 1970s, every single Chinese woman believed in this. They all believed in the divine punishment for committing adultery. It was religion that kept all the marriages together. It was religion. It was Confucius. It was Shangdi that kept the Chinese nuclear family together, because every single Chinese woman held on to these beliefs for nearly 5,000 years. And what happens when you abandon these beliefs? Well, you say Shangdi is not real, right? You say Confucius is not real. You say Guanyin is not real, right? You say Buddha is not real, which is 100% fine, right? However, without the Shangdi, without the Guanyin, that means that there's no longer any objective morality, okay? Everything you do is okay. Who is there to punish you? So if I sleep around, it's totally fine. I can sleep with 20, 30, 40 guys in my college years. I can become a born-again virgin. Because who is there to judge me? Who is there to tell me otherwise? First, you abandon your religion. That is secularism. That is the first pillar of destruction for humanity. And once you abandon your religion, it is inevitable that you will also abandon the concept of the nuclear family. That is the second pillar of destruction for any human civilization. Now let's talk about Black America. Of course, I had to, bring up this point. And many of you guys probably saw this coming. A lot of black people are not going to like this point I'm going to bring up. But you need to really hear this. I want you guys to really think about this. Do you think those black men out there, okay? The gang members, the Pookie and Ray Rays, the one that's committing the looting, the ones that's committing the murders, the one that's burning down Wendy's, the ones that's looting Apples and Macy's. Do you think any of those black men who are committing those crimes, do Do you think any of those black men in the United States, do you think they're religious? I want you to really think about this before I bring up another study. You see, this is all the consequences of secularism, because if those young black men, if they really believed in the Christ, if they really believed in God, okay, what does the God tell them? Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not murder. If you abandon objective morality from the God, then there will no longer be any objective morality. Because if God is not there to tell you that stealing, murder, and rape is not okay, then who is there to judge me otherwise? That means that I can absolutely go to burn down Wendy's. I can absolutely start a rampant drive-by shooting in the south side of Chicago. I can absolutely smash the windows of a mom and papa shop, and I can steal all of their belongings, and I can completely bankrupt their business. It's not a racist thing to say that over 50% of the murders are committed by black men in America, and over 60% of the violent crimes are also committed by black men in America, okay? I'm not trying to be racist, but here's something that will absolutely shock you, okay? Get ready for this study. This is actually published by the New York Times. So all the people who are committing these terrible, heinous crimes, okay? I want you guys to think about these three things. Do these thugs and criminals, do they check these three boxes, okay? Number one, were they born out of wedlock to a single mother? That is extremely important. If they don't check this box, okay, I want you guys to think about box number two. Box number two is that, were any of these violent thugs and criminals, were any of them raised with a father figure? That is box number two. And box number three, perhaps the most important one, okay? Do any of these violent criminals, how many times have they been to church in the past year? I want you guys to really think about this. Going to church, that will solve all the problems in our society? You might think that's ridiculous, okay? This is a study published by the New York Times. Black men living in the United States who attended church services at least once a week are 76% more likely to achieve middle income status versus black men who were not religious, who did not attend church services in the United States. Remember that. And the black men who regularly attended church services are more likely to graduate high school. They're more likely to get married and have children. They're less likely to be divorced. They're more likely to be involved in their children's lives. They're more likely to attend university. They're more likely to graduate with a 4-year degree. They're more likely to get a PhD. They're more likely to become doctors. They're more likely to become engineers. They're more likely to become lawyers. I want you guys to really think about that, okay? Black men in the United States who are religious, who attended church services every single week, are 76% more likely to achieve middle income status in America versus black men who are not religious. Really think about it. Think about how many young black men, in America were going to churches in 1960 versus how many young black men are going to churches in 2024. This is what happens when you abandon your religion. This is what happens when you ignore the 10 Commandments, when you ignore the fact that it's God is telling you not to steal. It is God who is telling you to not to murder, to not to loot, to not to rape. When you abandon your religion, you will abandon all of your objective morality. It is okay to drop out of school. It is okay to become a gangster. It is okay to become a career criminal. It's okay to become a Pookie and Ray Ray. Because who is there to judge me? Because God is not real, right? Because F-U-C-K to the church. F-U-C-K to the Christ. And I can give you guys a clear-cut example of why these people who attend religious services on a regular basis, they're less likely to commit suicide, they're less likely to commit crimes, they're less likely to suffer from clinical depression, they're less likely to abuse drugs and alcohol. Well, think about it. When you stop attending these religious services, that means you have the death of communal life. And I believe this is a major contributing factor to the fact that why over 100 million Americans now live with underlying health conditions. Because so many people are simply choosing to stay at home. Since the rise of internet, since the rise of tablets, since the rise of entertainments, people will rather stay home and play video games all day, or they will stay home and watch some new Disney Plus or Netflix series, or they can watch some random videos on YouTube. This has been a major incentive to keep people inside, so people don't want to go outside to meet people anymore. Really, think about it. Do you think there's some kind of crazy video game group where all the gamers would actually go meet in person 52 times a year? Give me an example, because I cannot really think of it. Back in the day, this was your sense of community. God is what give you your life a purpose. And whatever troubles you're going through back home, whether it's in your personal life, your marriage, perhaps it's work, perhaps it's with your children, you can reach out to members of the church. You can reach out for guidance. You can reach out for assistance. And somebody will always be there to help you. And when you have good news to share, you get to double your happiness. When you have issues of loneliness and depression, when you share with someone, when you seek out the guidance, when you seek out assistance, that means that your loneliness and depression will be halved just by sharing your story with your community, with your local church members. If anything else, right? Just by leaving your house on a Sunday morning and attending that church service, you probably burn at least the extra few hundred calories at the very least. But going to church is becoming increasingly unpopular in the West. So, box number 1. Was this person born to parents who were not married? Number 2. Did this person grow up with a father figure in their lives? Box number 3. Did this person attend church services regularly as he or she was growing up? Because I can guarantee you this. Show me a young man that checks either 1 or 2, or worst case scenario, all 3 of these boxes. Do you know what is going to be the end result? I will show you a thug. I will show you a rapist. I will show you a looter. I will show you a gangster. I will show you a murderer. I will show you a Pookie and Ray Ray. I will show you a drug dealer. I will show you an arrogant imbecile. I will show you a person who absolutely hates the Western civilization. I will show you a person who shouts a death to America. I will show you a person that abuses drugs and alcohol. I will show you a person who is constantly complaining. I will show you a person who is desperate to play the victim in the situation that they created. That is the truth for a man who checks either 1 or all 3 of these boxes. In the cases of a young woman, if she checks at least 1, or unfortunately if she checks all 3 of these boxes, then I can also guarantee you something. If a young woman checks all of these boxes, I can show you a hoe on the street. I can show you a blowfish. I can show you an OnlyFans content creator. I can show you an adult film star. I can show you a young woman who has spent $20,000 getting plastic surgery on her face. I can show you a gold digger. I can show you someone who is extremely insecure. I can show you a Karen who wants to make not just her life, but the lives of everybody else around her completely miserable. I can show you a feminist. I can show you a blue and green-haired lesbian with nose piercings and skull tattoos on her forehead. I will show you a morbidly obese woman who is complaining that young skinny women are totally unhealthy for society. That is what happens when you have a woman who checks multiple or all 3 of these boxes. I can guarantee you that. However, on the other hand, I can also guarantee you guys something else. If this person was born to parents who were married, if this person grew up with a father figure for his or her entire lifetime, if this person attended church services every single week while he or she was growing up, I will show you a immaculate, confident, strong young man that is boosting with confidence, that is full of charm, that is full of riz, that can light up any room or arena that he enters. This type of man will have women that's lined up to chase after him. This is the kind of man that will protect women from the bad mania society. These young men will become doctors. These men will become future lawyers. These men will become future successful entrepreneurs. These are the young men who is going to lead our civilization into a better future. These are the young men who are going to help this generation to surpass the previous. These are the men who will carry the torch. The same thing can be said for the female side. If a female was born to parents who were married, if she grew up with a father figure, if she grew up in a nuclear family, and if she grew up in the West attending church services every single week, then I can guarantee you this also. I will show you a gorgeous, fit, feminine-based young woman. I will show you a woman who is not ran through. I will show you a woman who is a virgin on her wedding day. I will show you a woman who respects her man, who will cook and clean and will never ever talk back to her man. I will show you a young woman that gets married at a young age. I will show you a young woman that is going to be an amazing mother figure. She will raise her daughter to behave like a woman, and she will raise her son to behave like a man. She will become the emotional support and the backbone of her husband. What happens when you have a society where the majority of a man and woman are born to parents who are not married? What happens when you have a society where the majority of young men and women, they all grew up without a nuclear family. They grew up without a father figure. What happens when you have a society where the vast majority of men and women no longer attend the church services? Let me make something clear. That society is going to end. When almost everybody in that society checks those 3 boxes, that is the end of that civilization. By the way, who's pushing all of this? Who is so desperate to get rid of Christians? I want to make something clear. This might be a shock to you guys at this point of the video if you made it to this point. I am not a Christian. I've been living in the West for almost 20 years now, and something very clear is happening to me, okay? There's a clear agenda to systematically eradicate Christianity from the face of this earth. This is all done by the political left. Everybody that supports this ideology, they all support the Democratic Party of the United States, and they all support the Liberal Party of Canada. The ultimate goal of these 2 parties is the complete genocide of Christians from the face of this earth. Surely all of you guys can see what's happening. Why do you guys think these 2 parties keep voting for these open border policies? Right now in Canada and in the United States, in the United Kingdom, there's a population explosion. However, these countries, especially in Canada, Canada has one of the lowest birth rates worldwide. Why are we going through a population explosion? How come Canada's population increased by 1.3 million in just the past year? That's the equivalent if the United States gaining 11 million people in 1 year. You guys don't see how insane that is? This is all from radical immigration, both legal and illegal. Why do you guys think that these 2 parties want so many immigrants and refugees to come in? It's very simple. They say that, okay, we're gonna let you into the country. We will give you your green card, okay? And in exchange, you guys keep voting for the Liberal Party of Canada. And you guys keep voting for the Democratic Party of the United States. This is population replacement, okay? We're going to bring all of these people worldwide. The vast majority of these people, they're not Christians. The vast majority of these people, they're not white people. This is to systematically destroy Christianity and to systematically destroy white people in Western countries. That is the end goal of the political left. That is the end goal of the Democratic Party of America. That is the end goal of the Liberal Party of Canada. I made that loud and clear. You guys all saw what happened at the opening ceremony at the Paris Olympics, right? That was obviously the Olympic organizers. They're openly mocking Christianity. Check out this piece of art, okay? This is called Piss Christ. It's literally Christ that's in the artist's piss. And this is considered to be a award-winning artwork in 2024. No, I'm serious. Look up Piss Christ. All these woke BS they're pulling, it's all to mock Christianity because they want to completely destroy Christians. They want to eradicate every single Christian on earth. Imagine a white Christian dude in a Western country. What if he made an art called Piss Muhammad? Imagine what kind of reaction he would receive. Or perhaps a diarrhea Quran. Imagine a Christian dude making fun of Islam like this. What do you guys think the consequences will be? I need to make something clear. The vast majority of Christians are not white. In fact, Jesus was not white. He was brown Middle Eastern looking. Okay, I need to make that clear. There's estimated to be something like 1 billion white people on earth, right? However, there are 2.3 billion Christians, okay? This is an attack on a religion as a whole. I'm not talking about just white people. Because Christianity was in Africa long before it was in Europe. So this video is already getting so long, and I want to bring up the final point, the 4 pillars of destruction of human civilization. The first pillar of destruction is secularism, because once you abandon your religion, that means that there's no objective morality. That means that, for a woman to sleep with 200 dudes before getting married is totally okay. 1 million abortions in the United States per year, that is 100% okay. Burning down Wendy's, looting Apple's and Macy's, murder, rape, steal, everything is okay because who needs to listen to the 10 commandments? Because God is not real. Because the objective of morality is no longer real. So that is the first pillar of destruction of humanity. Secularism, abandoning your religion. The second pillar, you have the destruction of the nuclear family. Because once you abandon your objective of morality, then what's the point of getting married? Divorce 100% okay. Over 50% of marriages will fail in the United States now. And this is also true in China. Single mother homes is totally okay. You don't need 2 parents. It's totally normal for a child to be raised by a single mother. It's totally normal for a child to grow up without a father figure. Because what's the point, right? And breaking your marriage vows, that's totally 100% okay because God is not real. 上帝 is not real. The Christ is not real. And once you abandon your religion, once you abandon the nuclear family, you will inevitably at some point also abandon your your gender identity. Because if you don't believe in God, you do not believe in nothing. You will believe in anything. So you have the end of gender identity. So gender is a social construct. Men can menstruate. Women can have penises. Well, because why does it matter? Because you don't believe in God, right? According to the Bible, right? God created male and female. But none of that matters because you have already abandoned your religion and you have already abandoned the nuclear family. So there's no such thing as a husband and wives anymore. So why should XY chromosomes matter, right? It doesn't matter. A man can become a woman and a woman can become a man. That is the third pillar of destruction of human civilization. The final pillar, it's post-humanism. What do I mean by post-humanism? Well, you're already seeing the start of this, okay? This is just the very early phases of the fourth pillar. People are saying that, I identify as a dog, I identify as a chicken, I identify as a pit bull, I identify as a dinosaur, I identify as a wolf. However, that is only the beginning of the fourth pillar. There's something much, much darker that's happening. Because, for example, if a human being can say that I identify as a cat, that means that that person can also identify you as a rat. And if that person identifies as a cat, and if they identify you as a rat, that means that they're 100% justified to murder you without any reason. Because, well, according to their ideology, you're nothing but a rat, right? Or you're nothing but a cockroach. So if they murder you, it's totally okay. It's just like swatting a fly, right? Post-humanism is also known as communism and socialism. You're dealing with something that is extremely, extremely dark. If you guys really want to learn about communism and socialism, you guys will need to know the history of the Soviet Union. You guys need to learn about Karl Marx and Frederick Engels. You guys will need to learn about Fyodor Dostoevsky. So according to communist ideologies, they divide everybody in their society into two classes. Anybody who's a true communist is a red class, okay? Anybody who did not believe in communism was a bourgeois. And the bourgeois was the black class. And whatever the red class did to the black class was 100% justified because the black class, the bourgeois, okay, these were considered to be subhumans according to communist ideology. These people are vermin, they're rats, they're frogs, they're insects. So whatever method of torture, whatever method of interrogation, whatever method of rape, whatever method of physical violence, it doesn't matter what you do to these people, to the bourgeois, everything will be okay because these people are lesser than humans because the red class identifies the black class, the bourgeois, as a tier that's below humans. So this is the class-based genocide behind the communist ideology. And trust me, Western countries are becoming more and more communist and socialist every single day. In fact, I will discuss communism and socialism a lot more over the course of the next few months. The series will start in September. And now, one final point I have to make. This is a major difference between the political left and the political right. On the political right, look at what's happening in Oklahoma, one of the most conservative states in America. I believe during the last election, roughly 70% of the population voted for the Republican Party. On the political right, almost every single person believes that religion should be bigger than the government. On the political left, almost every single person believes that the government must be bigger than the religion. Oklahoma is one of the only states in the United States that is bringing the Bible, that is bringing the Christianity into their classrooms. You will never, ever see this in a democratic state. What do the Democrats want? They want to teach you guys about 2S, LGBTQNAI++. They want to teach you about puberty blockers for your children. They want to teach you how a man can become woman, how woman can become man. The differences on the two sides are massive. Perhaps if you've stayed this long into my video and you disagree with all my points, maybe we'll be able to find something in common. Remember this, on the political left, they believe that the government should have absolute control. They believe in all the major corporations. They believe in BlackRock. They believe in State Street. They believe in Vanguard. They believe in the World Health Organization. They believe in the World Economic Forum. They believe in the European Union. They believe in the International Monetary Fund. They believe in a globalized digital currency. The sole goal of the political left today in 2024 is to completely eradicate religion from Western society, more specifically, Christianity. If you don't believe in religions, 100% fine. I mentioned up to this point, okay? I am not a Christian. but I want to bring some awareness to you guys. Remember this. If you don't believe in religion, if you don't believe in Christianity, that means that you believe in a government takeover, because clearly at this point in 2024, there's no in between. The bigger the religion, the smaller the corporation, the smaller the state, the smaller the government. However, the smaller the religion, the bigger the state, the bigger the government. More power to the UN Security Council, more money to BlackRock, more money to the military-industrial complex, more money to Camp Diego Garcia, more money to Okinawa, more money to Camp Humphreys. That is the one major difference about the political left and the political right you must be able to realize at this point. So, is America truly doomed? Are we really in the twilight zone? Well, personally, for me, I believe that Western civilization at this point is beyond hope. However, perhaps it's not too late, okay? In terms of the 4 pillars of destruction, right now I believe that America and the collective Western civilization, you're about 3/4 of the way there. You're 75% there. However, you haven't completely collapsed yet. Now, you can think of the 4 pillars as the 4 stages of cancer. Right now, you're at stage 3. There's still a tiny sliver of hope for all of you guys, but you must act now, and you must act very, very urgently. If you want to save the Western civilization, you need to start with these 3 words. Remember this: Christ is King.
I'm alright. It's so cold outside. I'm alone.